Years ago, there was a popular bumper sticker here in Austin that said, "On Earth as it is in Austin." I was reminded of that phrase this weekend as Vicki and I enjoyed ourselves about as much as one could without actually dying and going to heaven. Let me tell you about how we spent the last 2 days here in our lovely city and the beautiful Texas Hill Country. On Saturday, we drove out to Inks Lake State Park, where we were invited to visit the campsite of our dear friends Jody and Jeremy. Here's a photo of Jody with Vicki at the campsite, which was right near the water. It was so pretty, and we enjoyed each other's company in a relaxing environment on an absolutely perfect afternoon. It was a couple days shy of Jeremy's birthday, and we toasted him with some Texas bourbon that I brought for the occasion. Before sitting down to dinner, we went on a short hike. Here's a nearby cove in the lake that's a popular swimming hole. A little further in our hike, we saw the most incredible number of Texas bluebonnets that I've ever seen in my 48 years here in the Lone Star State. They were unbelievably numerous, so much so that we could smell their fragrance as we walked past them. Naturally, we had to take a few photos. Following our hike, we enjoyed some good food back at the campsite, featuring Jeremy's phenomenal campfire-cooked chili. Everyone had second helpings. Vicki and I stayed until just about sunset, then drove back to Austin. We had to get up early, because Sunday we planned to run 8 miles. Vicki and I were trying out a new route for our run. It was specifically designed to permit less experienced runners to join us on a run. We broke the run into a longer segment followed by a shorter run in Austin's Pease Park. Pease Park is one of my favorite places to run. It's pretty and relatively flat, with crushed granite trails rather than pavement. Here's a short video that describes the new route, which begins and ends in Pease Park. As Vicki and I crossed the Ann Richards Bridge on Congress Avenue, we saw this new sign that the city had put up, advising people that drones were not permitted near the bridge. This was a protective measure to preserve our bat population. In case you don't know it, Austin has the largest urban bat population in the world. Once reviled as loathsome creatures, bats are now heroes to us Austinites, since they do so much to reduce the number of flying insect pests. When we got back to Pease Park after our 5-mile loop, we met up with our young friend Zainab, who then joined us for another 3 miles in Pease Park. Here are Vicki and Zainab posing in front of our favorite Texas live oak tree in Pease Park. And here I am with Vicki. There weren't nearly as many bluebonnets here as there were at Inks Lake, but we did get a photo of Zainab among the flowers. It's a springtime tradition in Texas to pose with bluebonnets, and Zainab can tell the folks back in Iraq when she visits her family in a few days. All this running gave us an appetite, so when we were done, we headed over to the Galaxy Cafe for a light breakfast. After breakfast, we said goodbye to Zainab and headed home. On our way back, we passed the El Arroyo Cafe, known for their amusing signs, maybe more so than their food. We made just one more stop on this glorious day. Vicki and I visited Austin's Treaty Oak. This is a majestic Texas live oak tree that was 100 years old when Christopher Columbus arrived in America in 1492. It is the only survivor of an original group of 14 live oak trees that were a special meeting place used by Native Americans for peace councils. The mighty tree once had branches that spanned 127 feet, but in 1989, a mentally disturbed man poisoned it with a massive amount of herbicide. An intensive effort was made to save Treaty Oak, but for years its survival was uncertain. However, it is still alive today. Though it lost almost 2/3 of its original growth, it began producing acorns again in 1997. It is an awesome tree, and we were so glad to see it. It was the perfect finish to our Heavenly Hill Country weekend.